If ever you travel to Tucson, Arizona, there is a unique and very old resort that is a must-stay, Hacienda del Sol. And joining me now is the General Manager, Jill Clark. Jill, thank you for having us at this beautiful place. And I mean, this is a beautiful place.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We're glad to have you here.
And 4-star, that is not easy to do. Tell us about this.
So this resort actually was built in 1929 as an all-girls school. And fast forward to today, we are now a Forbes 4-star resort. We're registered as a Historic Hotel of America. And the resort continues to grow. It has a prominent place in Tucson. Tucsonans love to come here. In fact, our restaurants get full of locals every night, enjoying the amazing cuisine at the grill and our terraza patio.
When I walk up, of course, the first thing you see is that beautiful fountain. And it's so quaint. It's a large facility, but it looks so intimate.
It does, and I think one thing I'm very proud of is the owners have done such a great job of keeping the unique and authentic priorities aligned. And so when you're here, you feel like you're still back in the roaring 30s and it's still authentic Hacienda. Tell us
about your rooms and your guest accommodations.
Absolutely. So when the current owners bought the resort in the early 90s, it had run by that time as a girls' school for many years and then as a guest ranch, a dude ranch for a while. When they bought it, they added rooms and they've continued to add rooms. They added the rooms at the back of the resort about 4 years ago that we call the Catalina rooms.
To get a 4-star rating, you have to be exceptional, above exceptional. So what do you feel is that very special thing about Hacienda del Sol?
So I think when we first started talking to Forbes and they came and saw the resort, they felt that it was a natural for a 4-star. It's a level of service that's above and beyond what you find anywhere else. It's the way we talk to each other, the way we talk to our guests. It's how we deliver, exceptional service on every level throughout the resort.
Jill, so exciting. Thank you. Now, Hacienda del Sol has a long and very dramatic and colorful history, including Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. We'll have more coming up. Hacienda del Sol, Tucson's premier resort, started as an all-girls boarding school for wealthy families from the East Coast. Joining me, Jill Clark, the general manager and historian extraordinaire of this fabulous resort you run. I'm seeing some very prominent names on the rooms. Tell us about that.
So I think my favorite part of the whole history of Hacienda starts with 1929 when it opened as a private all-girls school. And a family, the Murphy family, came here and bought acres and acres and acres of land, and everybody said, "You're crazy, what are you doing?" And they built this beautiful private school. And the wealthy families from the East Coast sent their daughters here. And it was a very elite school. Names such as Westinghouse, Pillsbury, those were the families that sent their daughters here. The school year was October through May. They either brought a horse with them or bought one when they got here. So if you can imagine putting your 14-year-old on a train from the East Coast all the way out to the wild, wild West. And it ran as a girls' school very successfully right up until the war. Closed in about 1944. Sat empty for a lot of years, and when it was bought again, it became a dude ranch.
A dude ranch.
And that's when Old Tucson Film Studios was really into the silver screen.
So Hollywood basically moved into Tucson, and so some stars stayed right here too.
We have names on our rooms of the stars, and so as the history progresses, you start with the girls who stayed here, and then more rooms were added during the time the silver screen stars were here, and we have the John Wayne room, and we have the Hepburn room, and the Tracy room. So there are a lot of rooms named after the stars that came later. During that silver screen era.
Tell us about the Dude Ranch era.
The Dude Ranch era, I think, was probably when it was rocking and rolling, and they had barbecues, and they had horseback rides, and they had people from all over that wanted to come and experience the wild, wild West, and it was right here at Hacienda del Sol.
And then after the Dude Ranch era, of course, it went into another kind of era of decay. Tell us about that, and then how it came back to life.
The blessing for the building was that some local investors said, "Hey, we gotta save that. That's a beautiful property. What are we gonna do?" And so that's when it was purchased by the ownership group that now has it. from the early 90s, and they are the ones that have just continued over the years to add and improve. And believe me, it is not inexpensive to keep some of these historic rooms up and running and looking original and feeling authentic, but they have made that commitment.
Jill, thank you so much for this wonderful history lesson and tour of your beautiful resort.
Absolutely our pleasure. Thank you for being here.